Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kreativs podcast. Right now, we're on video. Yes, cool. All right, let's jump into this thing, shall we? Okay, so right now, we're back. We're back to podcasting, and you might be already wondering who this dude right here is. I'm just gonna not introduce him. He's gonna do the introducing himself. So Arvind, go ahead, buddy.
Hi guys, I'm Arvind. I met Kesh about a few months back. I think it was April. So I met him through his 4-day workshop that he conducted in Chennai. And we started working together. I started helping him with his event management and sort of a little bit with content writing and stuff. And now, I'm working on projects with Kesh, helping him out with the business side of things. So he's like the creative, so that he can focus just on the creative end of things in the business.
Exactly. So he's sort of taking care of the business side of things, the stuff that I don't, usually want to do. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say, this dude is like very hardworking, and I kind of like.
But I'm a practicing artist as well, so
yeah,
I do illustrations, and I'm working on building a portfolio there, and also working on my animation and motion design skills.
Exactly. Yeah, he's getting that on the artistry level. But yeah, I mean, I've been always wanting to sort of work with someone because I'm so lonely right here, and man, this has been fun. So yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation within ourselves.
Yeah,
for the most part, that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna forget that there's a camera over there, and maybe that camera is a person. So this is like a completely random episode right here. I'm not gonna try to sort of entertain you or add value to you. We're just testing things out. So podcasting is something that I've been personally wanting to do, right? And so we're sort of testing. We both are like thinking of doing podcasts regularly, and he's gonna be there. We're gonna also have like a couple of other people coming in. We're trying to build a set and see how this whole thing goes, because I like talking. I like the reason I'm doing podcasts. Obviously, like one of the best things about this thing is like what do you say? You get to organize your thoughts really well.
Okay.
At least that's the reason that I'm doing a podcast. And I think we should be like very close to the mic.
Okay.
I'm not even sure how good our mics are.
Should we be like leaning on the desk?
Yes, we should be leaning. I look so good. What do you say? I just went to the gym. I didn't go to the gym today. Actually, I just worked. I look so really buff. Equally, he's way bigger than me. He's like way bigger than me. But for some reason, I look equally buff today. Right? So this is good. I'm really feeling good about this. All right. So yeah, we're just screwing around today, and we do have some directions in terms of what we're gonna discuss some things, right? So. And I'm just gonna we'll have a conversation. I don't know how this thing is gonna work. I thought I'll just have a conversation with you.
We just have some talking points written down.
Yes, we have some talking points on a post-it note. I have prepared a little post-it note like I do at the beginning of every podcast. I just take 10 minutes and write the stuff down that I want to talk about. But man, so yeah, let's do this, dude. So yeah, the thing is. So what we've been up to, what we've been up to, Arvind? Please tell the people what we've been up to.
So for the last 1 month or so, we've been completely focused only on the digital art course.
Yes.
Come out recently.
Yes. What is that? What is that course, Arvind? Sell them.
The course was like it happened.
Be the business guy.
Oh, you want the business aspect?
I'm just kidding. No. First, chill out. Since you're new to the camera, I can see you a little bit being nervous.
Being jumpy.
Yeah, being jumpy. Yeah. Just be yourself. Be yourself in front of the camera. I mean, just loosen up, and you can see this is being so raw and live. I like that. Yeah, you go ahead.
So the course was the first time that I started working with Kesh on a full-time basis. So initially, we started. There was this physical workshop that was going to happen on the 27th of July in Chennai. So that's when Kesh was actually in two minds, like whether to go for the digital art course or a course on a separate topic. So since the physical workshop was actually going to take place, we thought if we release the digital course along with the...
What is the physical art workshop? I mean, physical workshop about? We forgot that.
The workshop was about digital art, right? Like
digital art, yes.
With
Okay.
untitled workshops.
Yeah.
So there we actually had a very good response there from the audience, and everybody was like completely into the workshop for like, it was a 6-hour workshop and everybody was like completely into it, and we had a great time on the workshop. And we knew that the course will translate.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. We knew that the course will translate pretty well into the digital medium as well. So into making it into a video course. So we wanted to get it done as soon as possible and make sure the quality is also on par with how Kesh's tutorials are in YouTube, but much more in depth.
Yes.
So that was the idea, and we wanted to execute it on a very good deadline so that the aura we created from the workshop, the physical workshop in Chennai, could actually be translated throughout his audience.
Yes.
To his entire audience. So
exactly.
We sort of worked day and night for like a couple of weeks to get the production done, and also the website and all the sales channels put together.
Oh God.
And
boy. I mean, see, this is part of being that. Making money with your artworks, right? Like, it's not always that you're doing these fun creative sessions that you're drawing what you like and doing the stuff that you want, making the projects that you want. There are times you just have to like sit down, buckle up, probably put yourself out of the picture, like put your selfish goals out of the picture, and you have to sort of work towards a product or service that's useful for other people, that'll in turn add value to you, that'll in turn add value to other people. And boy, it was like what I actually checked out the date. So I wrote down a script for the digital art course, and I wrote down an outline for the course. So that was the first time I had the idea that, you know what, if I'm conducting a digital art workshop, I should have a course that goes along with the workshop, because I wanted to again try the online course thing. And we started on July 12th, and we finished off the whole damn thing on August 5th. So we just pulled off a really fantastic course within the span of a month, and I wish that never happens again. I desperately don't want to ever get into that schedule again. I'm so burnt out, dude. I'm so burnt out. Yeah.
We should have managed the project better, but we are so happy with the end result though. There were a lot of comments on our Teachable website. Even right now, there are a lot of comments coming in about how it's been so helpful.
True. It's been really good. It's been really good. I'm happy about it. I want to talk to more people. Like if anyone who's watching this who is using the course, let me know how the course exactly is. I want to like work with you, know your reaction, so that we can make the course better. You know, like I want to add more value. I want this thing to be useful for people so that they can apply that into their own lives. So yeah, enough with the course, enough with the selling
and if
stuff.
They could share the artworks that you guys finish.
The final artworks. Please share the final artworks. I don't think we're supposed to look at that screen.
Yeah, we're looking at the screen instead of the camera.
Right. Yeah. So we have a big screen behind.
I think we should push the screen so that it's like right behind the camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We should sort of do that. Or we should actually pull it to the side. Just don't look at the screen.
We don't focus on it.
Focus on the screen. Yeah. This is weird. So yeah. See, we were getting used to it.
Learning in every minute.
Learning every minute, exactly. This is how the actual behind the scenes of living life looks like. You make lots of mistakes and everything doesn't go to plan. And you just look bad in front of a million people, 1,000 people in this case. And yeah, it just never doesn't work. But hey, we're trying to make this thing work. Anyways, so that is one. And we have finally finished our 100 days of sketching challenge. So 3 months of drawing every single day. For those who don't know, right? So what the 100 days of sketching is all about. So it is a challenge where you draw at least for 6 minutes every day for 100 days straight. And we finished that. We did that. We came out with spectacular colors. And oh boy, that was another thing that just... I think I was doing 3 big projects. Three big projects. So 100 days of sketching, focusing there, here and there on the YouTube channel, doing workshops, finishing the course.
Yeah.
It was just, oh boy, it was so hard. It was so hard. I think this podcast is like sort of like a follow-up for a podcast where I did with at the beginning of this year, goals I want to achieve in 2019. So one of the goals was to make a video every week on YouTube, on my YouTube, and to publish two courses this year, or one course. I think it's two courses. I think we've accomplished for the first time in my entire life. I set a New Year's resolution and I achieved my New Year's resolution. And as far as the YouTube video goes, I think I've made somewhere around I think 26 videos
This year alone.
Yeah, this year alone.
Okay.
So 26 videos, 20 videos, 6 videos for extra channels and mediums like Instagram, a second channel, stuff like that. Around 26 to 30 videos and 26 videos. And we made like 4 hours of content for the course. So we've done well. I've done well. I think I've been, you just came along right now. So I think usually I'm very hard on myself, but thinking back, we're still sort of doing a good job. So that is one. And 100 days of sketching is over. And we're going to announce the winners technically today on the day of the shooting of this podcast. We're going to just like pick people who have been really consistent with the challenge, and we're going to reward them. I'm going to send a free copy of my course, and we're just going to pick one random winner, and we're going to send them a bunch of art supplies that I've selected, and along with the XP Pen digital tablet. Shout out to XP Pen for sponsoring that. We're working with XP Pen right now. They've been So that is another update. So this is what's been going on. So what's in it actually for in terms of the future, right? In terms of what we are going to do, what this channel is all about, what this thing that we are building is all about. We have a couple of ideas. What do you think? I have a lot of stuff in my head, but I have communicated that with Arvind because he's sort of going to take a lot of the management aspects of this business. I hate to call this the business on the podcast, but this is a business, and it's good to build a business. And so what do you think? Where do you think we are headed? In terms of YouTube, in terms of what we're doing?
I think for the audience, it's better we talk about what kind of content that they can expect from us, right? So right now we are ventured into the podcast arena. So we are looking into
re-venturing actually.
I mean, after quite a bit of break, I'm saying we are venturing into it right now in the sense that we are going to be more consistent with the podcast. And also, we are trying to build a system for the YouTube video so that we can, you guys can know when to expect a YouTube video, so that there'll be a system for the YouTube videos coming out. And also, we are trying to create content in different channels also. So in writing. So right now, you guys are exposed to Kesh as a video producer, right? So making videos. So we are going to venture into even writing blogs and writing books and stuff like that. And also, we're sort of working out a touring schedule for Kesh with workshops, so he'll be like touring the entire country with his workshops.
That's happening. I feel like a rock star right now. I'm like a manager, like, dude, I'm touring countries right now. It may look, the whole thing looks so what do you say? When you take all these things and you put together, it sounds so out there, right? And it sounds so, wow, this guy's doing something. Trust me. We're no different than the person who's probably watching this. I think we're just taking some steps here and there, and like I've told you, right, like a couple of days back.
It's nice to think about all the small steps that led to this, right? Like the point at which you started your YouTube channel and the point at which you feel like a rock star right now, right?
So I don't feel like a rock star. We sound like a rock star. That's a different way we boast our achievements. Oh, guys, we're touring the country right now. That's happening. It's not like a tour where I go and perform and
Yeah, we're just conducting workshops.
Workshops.
It's a nice way to put it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we're touring. We're banding. We've got a bunch of people coming with us. So weird. Anyway, so yeah, so that is one. So we're gonna conduct workshops. The bigger vision is always has been for me to practice art, to do art, and to share the process with other people, and the mediums we're going to use for that is like the YouTube channel. We're going to use the podcast. I'm loving the podcast thing. This is a great medium for me. I think I'll love every single time I sit in front of this thing, and I feel so. Even though at the beginning of this podcast I was feeling a bit mad, and once we started, I'm more of a guy who talks a lot and gets my thoughts cleared, and I love podcasts. So
how do you find the YouTube videos which are like short form and edited content and scripted content different from the long form live videos or podcasts like these?
Yeah, so the YouTube videos that we're gonna focus on making, right? So that's gonna be more like a good summary of a particular topic that can be made that can be delivered in a short period of time, say like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. That's going to be the YouTube video. So if someone wants to know about like a particular, and the thing is though, the reason why I'm making the YouTube videos in the first place is to sort of organize myself in terms of what I think about that particular thing. Mm-hmm. So I'll first get that creative thought, that is one, and I'll summarize and make a YouTube video for that thought. And the podcasts are more like the behind the scenes of the YouTube videos. Okay. So we are going to be discussing some topics today, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to discuss about like how to use a sketchbook, and we're doing a video on how to actually use a sketchbook, and we're sort of going to discuss things. We're going to put things out there and reorganize our thoughts again and see what sticks and what doesn't stick. Not with the audience, with ourselves. And we're gonna test things out. We're gonna talk about things. We're gonna let our thoughts run loose, and that's the point of the podcast. And more in-depth information. Like there's only few things that you can sort of do. What's that sound?
Some construction work.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the behind the scenes. Some people are doing some construction work.
I remember one time you posted on Instagram where there was a squirrel squeaking in the back when you're trying to film a YouTube video.
I was doing a recording. I was doing audio recording. The damn squirrel won't stop. It's like peek, peek, peek. Yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? I was on about YouTube. I don't know.
About how YouTube is different from.
Yes. Yeah. So in terms of the podcast, right? So there's only a couple of things which you can cover within 5 to 10 minutes. And I wanna talk more, and I want to give more in-depth information or explore in-depth information through this medium. So that is what I'm actually excited about. The whole podcasting thing.
Yeah, it actually feels less of a speech that you're giving and more of a conversation that we are exploring into, right?
Yes.
I think the word explore that you used was very apt for this place.
Exactly.
So it's in a YouTube video is more of a TED talk. Sort of a TED talk that you're giving, and here it's more like a brainstorm session.
Well constructed. What do you say? Well constructed, built TED talk.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any flaws in it. This has more flaws in it, and this for like the very small subset of people who are interested. I don't even care if 0 people watch this thing. I'm just gonna do this thing. I do care actually, to be a little bit, but I don't know. If you just look at the setup, I'm so excited about how colorful this whole thing looks.
So if you're watching, comment and subscribe.
Yeah, comment and subscribe. Like, comment and subscribe, and it's gonna be fun. Anyways, I don't care if people watch this or not. I do care, but I don't care for the most part. But I'm just gonna still do this thing. So yeah, man, let's get into the thing. Did we tell people what we're gonna do in future? Yeah, we're gonna make YouTube videos.
What's the next project that we're gonna work on immediately?
Okay, yeah, the next project that we're gonna work on is we're gonna focus on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We're gonna make better videos that deliver better value for people, and that's always been my goal. And I've told you, right? The subscriber number doesn't seem like a right goal for me. So the couple of ways again to motivate yourself is to have like some goals, right? And but I thought of, okay, I'll probably set some sort of like a revenue goal or like a subscriber goal that will probably motivate me. But I think every single time I do that, I end up really feeling not great at the end of it. So I thought maybe if I set a goal to say help a certain amount of people or be useful to a certain amount of people, I think that might be sort of like a better move.
KPI, okay.
Yeah, or ROI, return on my investment of time. So yeah, I think I don't know. I used to talk about my goals a lot in the past. I'm sort of restraining myself from that. The kinds of goals. I think it's better that we sort of do the thing, then tell people that we've done the thing, instead of telling people that we're going to do the thing, they're not doing the thing, or the whole thing. Anyways, too much.
And
things.
there's one more ask. We are like looking out for a video producer. So if you guys
He's
know
doing this thing right here. He doesn't even care if this is a podcast. He's like,
I don't know when you guys are watching it, but if it's like closer to when we are releasing it, so just
we're looking to expand our team of people. We're looking to we had a video producer. His name was Varun. I think some of you might know him. He had to drop out of the whole thing because he's going to study more in university. So again, we're looking for a video producer. We're looking for an editor. We're looking for animators, motion graphics people, especially in terms of After Effects. Who knows After Effects animation, stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at, and let's sort of that's the future. We're going to focus more on YouTube. We don't know how frequent we're going to be on YouTube. That is the big question right here, because I've sort of burnt myself out in the past with the weekly schedule, the monthly schedule, and
we'll have a better idea by the time of next podcast.
I think so. I think we should.
We'll have some better clarity.
It's not like I think so. I think we should have a better idea. So that is one. And podcasts. We'll be making more podcasts. That's the future, man.
We're looking to bring on guests, so it'll be more
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to have another person. I think he's going to be a great addition. Sort of going to be like an irregular guest host, and I think it's going to be a fun addition for this podcast. And let's see how that thing goes. And let's get into the topic of this podcast. We're 23 minutes in, and we're done with the rambling. And so me and Arvind are going to just vomit our thoughts on how to use a sketchbook, because that's the video that I'm working on right now, and I want to better clarify my thoughts on how to use a sketchbook. Let's get into that, shall we? Alright, Arvind, how do you use a sketchbook is my question for the day. I have some points. I have 4 ways that I use a sketchbook that I'm going to be discussing here on this podcast, and we're just going to have a conversation. Like, do you have a sketchbook?
Yeah, I do use them. Like most of the time, the artworks that I create, I usually do the sketches on the screen itself, on digitally using the Wacom itself. I use my sketchbooks mainly to practice. So when I have to do multiple iterations of, say, a particular face, so that I get a good hang of it, or a particular hand pose. So when I'm in the mood for deliberate practice to actually gain a particular mastery in a particular pose or a particular face's features, that's when I get into my sketchbook and start drawing all those things.
And then do you use it regularly, or?
No, I don't. I won't say that I use it daily though, but I draw daily. But so I don't use my sketchbook daily though.
Right.
So usually I'm working on Photoshop in my laptop.
Okay. And then even I'm a regular user of the sketchbook. And I'd like to call myself a sketchbookist. And I'm stealing that term away from Jake Parker's son. I'm stealing stuff from the Parkers a lot. I don't know. Jake Parker gave me a lot of ideas. Now his son is giving me a lot of ideas. So it was sketchbookist is a term coined by Tate Parker, son of Jake Parker. And it basically means person who uses sketchbook. So I'm a regular sketchbookist. I've been using sketchbooks. So, for example, these things right here, right? These are all my sketchbooks. I've sort of completed over 20 sketchbooks in the past couple of years, 2 or 3 years after I started deliberate practice. So I've been drawing for the past 20 plus years, and I've been practicing art deliberately for the past since 2015, 2014, 2015. So yeah, approximately 5 years of deliberate practice. And Sketchbook has been like the best thing that has ever happened to me in terms of my improvement of art, dude.
Okay.
So that's like, I think it was again it was I know it was pretty much every artist out there says like you need to have a sketchbook, you need to use a sketchbook and everything, and I knew the importance of a sketchbook. I didn't sort of improve until I sort of heard this advice, which was to fill one sketchbook a month. So when you're sort of starting out as a beginner artist, yeah, I think it's really useful. I got that from Jake Parker again. He was one. It was in one of his videos. I don't know which one. So that one sketchbook a month idea was like fantastic. So I bought a couple of these cheap Faber-Castell sketchbooks. You know, those 30 rupee ones. So for those people who don't know what 30 rupees is, it's like what do you say, $50?
Yeah, 50 cents.
Oh, that's what 50 cents is, huh? Okay, I don't know the exact units and metrics. Okay, 50 cents technically. So I bought a couple of the sketchbooks and started filling those things up. I was like the best thing that I've ever did. Man, that was I improved so much that it's unimaginable. And ever since then, I've been sort of like a sketchbookist, and I've always had a sketchbook. I've always used a sketchbook. But and there was a period for the past 1 month where I was sort of testing out new sketchbooks. I usually use a Canson
paper.
No, book.
Okay.
I don't know the brand exact thing. We'll link it down below. So this is like the Canson art book, I think. I'm not sure. This is like a Canson spiral bound thing. So this is the one that I really use. I don't like A5 sketchbooks. I don't like A4. I like something in between. A4 is okay, I can manage with it. A5, it's not for me anymore. I started out with A5, but it doesn't work for me anymore. So I was sort of testing out new sketchbooks, and there was a period where I didn't have like a proper sketchbook that I can go home to, and it was like the worst part of my drawing thing. It was like so ungrounded.
All these sketchbooks like cost quite a bit, right? Like, and do you feel the need to like make a very good piece of art in each page? Like, if I have a sketchbook like this, like I use very cheap sketchbooks, like the Faber-Castell ones that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So if I had a sketchbook like this, right, like I would feel the need to actually fill each page with a piece that I'm proud of.
Yeah, that I'll get to that. I'll first finish my thought.
Sorry.
What was I saying? Damn.
So you're talking about the Canson.
Yeah.
Books,
So I was jumping around testing new sketchbooks. It was really bad. I didn't like that. So on to your question, right? So do I feel pressure to make a perfect piece on every single page? Yes, I do. Actually, I do feel the pressure, and that's why I'm sort of thinking or rethinking my strategies on how to exactly use a sketchbook. Because you see these YouTube videos, right, where people sort of show around their sketchbooks and give a tour of the sketchbook. Every damn page, Jesus.
Oh my God,
Christ.
it's so intimidating.
Yeah.
Look at all those things.
And the thing is, most people have been practicing. Okay, good chunk of them have been practicing for a very long time. So their sketch is technically your masterpiece or my masterpiece. So what they can do within 5 minutes will take us probably like an hour or something like that. So hence those sketches probably look so intimidating hard for us. But also at the same time, a good chunk of them, a good 80% of those people are just people who just like are so damn careful about not messing up their pages. They're like making sure every page looks beautiful so that they can do a damn sketchbook tour on YouTube. I'm so damn sure about that. That is the thing. Most people or most art YouTubers out there don't mess up their sketchbook because they can do a sketchbook tour that looks perfect. Except for very few. I'm not going to generalize, but for some of the YouTubers that I don't personally know, they're like that.
Okay.
They're like that. It doesn't look like a sketch at all. It looks very planned. Those things are not sketches. If you are spending 5-6 hours making a finished piece, not a sketch.
And they call it a quick sketch.
Quick sketch. Jeez, yeah. Hashtag quick sketch on Instagram. What? Right? So that's the thing that pisses me off. So what they're doing is, okay, they're screwing on themselves. That is one. They're really not. I know I'm putting out vast generalizations. I don't really care at this point, but they're messing around with. They're messing up their progress, and also they're setting up unrealistic standards and expectations for people who are new to this whole game, and they think their sketchbook should look like that. And I've sort of fallen into that trap before, and it was very hard for me to get out of it. Because every single people use their sketchbooks in a different way. Like I use a sketchbook in a way that you might not use, and people have different purposes of using a sketchbook. One might want to use a sketchbook to get better at art. One might just want to have something like that's like a playground for them. That's sort of like a meditative place where they go to or do something. One might use it like a logbook. So I saw this class on Skillshare. Right. Again, we're not deliberately, even though I'm a Skillshare affiliate and ambassador, I'm not deliberately posting that. It just came to my head. So there was a class on Skillshare called Draw Your Day, which I found was very interesting.
Okay.
So it was like someone was drawing. Someone posted a class on drawing their day. So what they do is, every single day they sit down and they draw their day or how their day went. So she has this multiple books of her days recorded in terms of drawing. So that I think was like it was very good. I wouldn't call that a sketchbook. Sort of is a sketchbook. She sort of plays around in it, and
Does she write also, or like
it's a mixture of writing and sketches. So that I found that very interesting. So that is one, and so yeah, people use their sketchbooks in different ways, and man, this style thing is really throwing me off. You hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, there's some sound going on right here. I don't think people will be able to hear it. I think.
I'm not sure
too. Wait, I'll just make sure. Who's that? So anyways, we have taken care of the tile issue. That's not tile issue. The sound issue, which was some random dude at my house messing around with tiles, broken tiles. Anyways, I'm pissed officially. That is nice. So anyways, what were we? Yeah, so about sketchbooks.
You're going to segue into the journaling aspect of
Yes. So again, multiple things, sketchbooks. And still I hear the tile sound. Darn it. Anyways, I'm just not. My God, they're making even a bigger sound, are they? This podcast is a damn mess, dude. Okay, let's get into it. I don't care. We can't control everything. Stoicism 101. Anyway, so yeah, right. So let's actually. I was talking about. I was on a very specific flow.
Yeah, the Skillshare lady.
Yes. So yes, she was using her sketchbook in a way that was a great way. So some people have like anatomy sketchbooks. So they have like sketchbooks where they just use it for anatomy. Some people have like a draw your day sketchbook. Some people have a scribble sketchbook.
Yeah.
Where they just scribble stuff around. I got a practice sketchbook lately. I always use one sketchbook, so I just got a cheap again one of those Faber-Castell type sketchbooks. Right?
Faber-Castell
sponsor us, please. Thank you. So I got that sketchbook, and I'm practicing 100 faces right there on that sketchbook. So I'm doing like a 100 face challenge. So I've given myself a goal to draw 100 faces. I'm doing that on my sketchbook, and I've ordered another Canson. I just gave up trying to experiment with new sketchbooks, and I just ordered a damn Canson sketchbook, and it's on the mail right now, so it'll be here soon. So yeah, like people have different sketchbooks, and I think right, this is how people find the need to use a sketchbook. So sketchbook is sort of like a journal. So that is my number one point. Number one would be A sketchbook is a journal where you record your life in terms of drawings, in terms of writings, in terms of pictures, in terms of sticking stuff. I don't care. The medium that people use it doesn't matter, or writing or drawing or painting or whatever. I think most artists have used Sketchbook as a place for them to record themselves to a particular degree, or use the Sketchbook to advance themselves to a better version of themselves. Okay, artists using a sketchbook to advance themselves into a better version of their same artist. Something like that. So yeah, number one would be like people use sketchbooks as journals. So I sort of these days, right, like I'm using my sketchbook like where I'm sort of drawing out my thoughts. Like I have like lots of thoughts, and if I want to sort of get a particular emotion out or get a particular thought out, I just do like a scribble and a doodle along with some writing on the right, and I just put them together on my sketchbook and sort of clarify myself out of that thought.
Can you give a specific example of what that is?
Yeah, so I made a drawing a couple of a while back where it was
based on a prompt.
No, not a prompt. I was just feeling something.
Okay.
What the feeling was, I was earning. I feel I'm in a good place financially these days, but I feel that the money, everything that I'm earning, is just going around. It's just going. It's like it comes in and literally goes out the next door, and that's probably because of my bad financial habits. But I was just so pissed. And I was like, damn, I don't know why I'm spending so much money on. I'm not even actually wasting money. I don't even buy dumb stuff. I only buy useful stuff. I'm very clear on that. I don't go shopping. I do go sometimes. I usually go buy books, actually.
Not useless shopping.
Yeah, not the kind of dress shopping that you're thinking of. I'm more of a book shopper. I just go into a bookstore and buy a random book, which I'll never read.
And other place.
Yeah, I do that. Dude, never get me into an art store. Trust me. It was a bad day. It was a bad day on my wallet. So yeah, so I was feeling so pissed about like why the money that I'm earning is just going away in places, and I just wrote like a couple of, I just drew myself like a pissed version of myself and ranting about, I think we might be buying I might be buying some useless stuff. Maybe the fourth book that I just bought yesterday at a bookstore, which I'm probably not going to read, is not worth it, right? Something like that. So I'm really, so what that helped me to do is, it helped me buy less books. Right now, I don't buy that much books unless I have a bunch of books with me that I have, and I only buy books that I know that I'll read. So I've sort of learned that my reading habit should be coming from a place of want, or me wanting to read, rather than me forcing myself to read, because that's the hip thing to do these days, and everybody's reading right now. You should be reading a book, you should be doing something like that. So yesterday I got 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson's book, right? And I have the audiobook already. I couldn't listen to the audiobook because I don't know, for some reason I couldn't. I want something to look at while I'm reading. So what has worked for me in the past was I used to listen to an audiobook and read the book. So there's sort of someone's narrating the book to me. So technically. So that's why I got the book. So that's like a useful purchase. I bought another book called Keep Going by Austin Kleon. I love this book. I love Austin Kleon. So I know this is like a book that I'll read. So all of these things sort of came out from me organizing myself onto the sketchbook. Probably I should also organize my anger issues as well onto the book. Maybe I'll do that next. That is something that I'm working on. So yeah, see, stuff like that. So I'm sort of recording myself onto my sketchbook, thoughts, drawings. I heard somewhere that your brain understands information if it was put visually. Information better if it was put visually rather than writing, just writing. So there are these people who does these sketch notes. Apparently that's a thing. I've been doing that for like forever, and right now it's like a thing right now. So sketch notes is like where you draw and doodle at the same time. So that technically I'm doing a sketch note.
Okay.
So That's been copyrighted apparently. That's another thing. So good for the guy. Good on moving it fast. Right. Anyways, so yeah, so that's something that I do. So sort of recording myself, and I find people like I told you, right? Like Marcus Aurelius. For those who don't know who Marcus Aurelius is, he's like a Roman emperor who was one of the good guys. And apparently, not all Roman emperors are good guys, and he's apparently one of the good guys who happened to write his thoughts down into a journal, and the journal is now called Meditations. It's a book. It's a popular book on Stoicism, and he's written down his thoughts. He's clarified stuff for himself, and I think that's how I probably should be using my sketchbook as well. So I also have another sketchbook called a playbook, not like a playbook, but so this is like the smaller version of the Canson book.
Okay.
So this started out like a regular sketchbook. I don't think people can see it. So this started out like a regular sketchbook, and but I didn't like the size of it. A5. It's A5, and what I did was I started writing stuff down instead.
Okay.
So I started doing some exercises, doodling exercises. Like I take this book up in the morning whenever I feel like it. Not every morning. I just take this book up, take some pens, and just play around with the book, and that's it. This is like a good version of the diary or the journal or some stuff like that. So that is point number one, to use your sketchbook as a journal where you record your thoughts, you record your self into the book.
In this book, you don't feel any pressure to make any good-looking art, is it?
Yes, I don't think anyone should feel. Even though people do, even though I do, I don't think people should feel pressure to do quality stuff in their sketchbooks. Maybe in a book where they do clear artworks, that is a book, not a sketchbook.
Okay.
A drawing book, that is probably not a sketchbook. A sketchbook is like I think inherently, maybe sometimes it's good to not define things, but sometimes you just have to put your foot down and say, dude, a sketchbook is a damn sketchbook. I wouldn't say don't draw, do finish drawings in it. I'm saying don't be too rigid about it. Do you get me? Like, you don't have to be, you treat a sketchbook for what it is.
Okay.
It's a sketchbook at the end of the day, and do sketches in it. That's all there is to it. A sketch, something that's not finished, something like that. So yeah, so treat your sketchbook like a journal. And would that answer your question? I think sort of. And two, I think we've sort of gone into point number 2 as well, which was to use your sketchbook like a playground where you play around with it, do stuff with it. Like I told you, I like wake up every morning and sit down and just play around in my sketchbook. I made a video called "Play with Your Art." Even though that video didn't reach out to many people, I think that's a great thing. So what I did during that phase was I took out my sketchbook every single day, or most days, allocate an hour, and just play around like a kid. I think that's what probably got us into art in the first place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When we were a kid, we were just like messing with things around. I saw my younger brother, like my 5-year-old younger brother, the other day. He was playing around with my iPad. Like, he didn't give a damn about whether he wants to make a finished piece or not. And he was like just doing stuff and making things, and it was like a pleasure to watch that kid do that. And I think who said that? It's harder to stay a kid while you're growing up or something. I
have no idea.
You have no idea. There's a quote, something like that. So yeah, it is harder to stay a kid when you grow up. So I think one of the things that I've sort of learned from him, or other kids that I'm seeing, is like they just draw. They just don't care about finished pieces. They treat their sketchbook like a playground, or point number 3, an experiment ground. So they treat their sketchbooks like a playground or an experiment ground or like a lab where they test things out and see things. So that is another way that I use my sketchbooks for. So I have specific goals for myself and my art, right? So I want to be a character designer. I want to design characters. I want to be an illustrator. I want to illustrate stuff. And I break those skills down into individual steps. So right now, my character designing practice has gone into the designing human people or designing people. So right now, I need to learn to draw better humans, better people. So what does that entail? Okay, I think I'll be better at drawing people if I draw or learn to draw 100 faces, 100 heads, and 100 gestures or 100 body types and 100 hands. So you have these. I have these individual goals that I have, and I set them at the front of my sketchbook. So even at this sketchbook, right? So see. So I have written right here at the. You won't be able to see this. I'll read it out. So don't worry. So I've written a couple of points here that says how to use the sketchbook. First point is use Steven Silver's exercises on this book. So I bought a book on character design from Stephen Silver, amazing book, and I'm going to use those exercises on this book. Point number two would be cartooning and improvement is the goal. So I've sort of given my sketchbook a theme and a focus.
Okay.
So that is like another thing that I do. I give it a theme, I give it a focus. I'm not too strict on that theme, but it is the larger theme that the sketchbook will be based on.
It sets the attitude for whenever you open the sketchbook.
That's a great word. Okay. It sets the attitude. Okay. Exactly. It's an attitude, not a rule or a guideline. It's an attitude that we will use on the sketchbook. And point number 3 was don't waste this book. So the thing is, another thing that I'm trying to sort of go away from is I waste a lot of space on my sketchbook, like pages. Okay. So I was like, you know what, I probably shouldn't do that. And also it looks cool if you just put a bunch of drawings on the same page. Better Instagram picture.
Yeah, so, you see how the heart of Jeremy Hoffman's sketchbooks, right?
Oh, dude.
It's like all filled in all the nooks and crannies with amazing sketches. Though.
Yes, I don't know how he does that.
Yeah.
And the coolest part about that is he uses sketchbook that's the size of his palm.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know how he does those drawings that I moved away from A5 because I felt that it was too small for my drawings. And even smaller than that is crazy. Or probably that's his trick, who knows, right? His name is Art of Henry, what was his name?
Jeremy Hoffman.
Okay, Art of Jeremy Hoffman on Instagram. Go check him out.
It's not A-R-T, H-E-A-R-t. Heart of Jeremy Hoffman.
Yeah, heart. He's not an artist, he's a heartist. Go check him out. He's an amazing talented creator. So that is point number 3. And point number 4 is practice. It says practice heads and full body and hands. So see, I'm giving myself another task for the sketchbook that I probably need to complete by the end of the sketchbook. And I'll be probably doing that. And also practice the freedom style. I've put that in quotes. So I have this style that I'm sort of developing, and I've named it the freedom style because that style doesn't involve a lot of thinking and involves a lot of doing. So it's more like an intuitive style. So I've told myself that involves a lot of basic shapes, colors, patterns and things. And I've sort of told myself that I'll be practicing more of that style in my sketchbook. Will I follow every single one of these rules? No, I don't think so. But I hope.
Yeah. I really like this idea though. I want to set different sketchbooks and set different themes for them so that I know what I can focus on and set my attitude towards when I work on that particular sketchbook. That's a very good idea.
That is good. That is good. But another thing I would say is don't get too carried away with the number of sketchbooks. Like that is.
It shouldn't be too many.
Yeah, people are like, I have a sketchbook for my hands. I have one for my heads. I have for my toenails. I have for my little brother, step cousin. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Don't do that. Don't get carried away with the number of sketchbooks. I actually, I debated a lot on having 2 sketchbooks at the same time. Because it is easier for me to have one sketchbook, focus on finishing that book and moving on. So right now I have a very clear thing. I have a sketchbook that I'll draw on.
Yeah.
And I'll scribble, I'll practice, I'll do this. It's like a sketchbook. I think I need to remind myself that constantly, even though I still want to do perfect drawings in that. Then I have the practice book where I'll practice. Where I'll perform the 100 tasks, 100 heads, 100 faces, and so on. And
the playground.
Exactly. And so the point number 1, use your sketchbook like a journal. Point number 2, use it like a playground. And point number 3, use it like a practice ground or an experiment lab as well. Another thing which I do is which I've noticed a lot of master artists do No, I'm not saying that I'm a master artist, but I'm just saying I'm sort of. I feel the need to write little notes on my drawings, near my drawings, because I'm sort of experimenting or trying to learn a particular style. Like, for example, in this same book, right, I studied Stephen Silver's character design and made 2 notes from this. And the 2 notes says, make use of large volumes to draw people.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I get how people draw large people. I mean, how artists draw people. So basically, they use one big shape that can be used as a grounding shape to draw people. That's like a good strategy. That's like one of the good strategies. And point number 2, which I've made, is the first couple is going to be yeah. So yeah, I'm giving myself notes. So you start doing this. The first couple of things are going to suck. Maybe you will get better at it, right? So, like I make these little notes and I've given myself another thing that says the most basic character design exercise, which is like put a bunch of shapes together and try to see if you can build a character from that.
Okay.
And I've given another thing. Don't be afraid to go beyond your style. Yeah, this is another thing, which is, we all sort of have particular styles, right? The way we draw eyes, the way we draw things. And maybe, maybe if I'm drawing American style eyes, American cartoon style eyes, maybe I should draw anime. Or maybe I should try something else. Maybe I should go into like surrealism, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to go beyond your style and experimenting new things. So yeah, I just make these notes. And the learning is actually in these notes. So you draw something, you learn, then you record your thoughts with the notes, and that's when you're sort of making sure that you have learned something, right? That's the part of the beauty of writing stuff down. So yeah, so these are the 3 points, and I've written point number 4, the way I use a sketchbook. I think I've sort of covered that.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think I sort of cleared myself on how I want to structure my video as well. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you have? Do you have something to say?
Yeah. So I thought of how the 100 days of sketching aspect, right? How that links into this your ideology about using the sketchbook itself. So it's about, the idea of the sketchbook, 100 days of sketching itself is to just spend 6 minutes.
6 minutes a day.
Commit to 6 minutes. Like out of 24 hours, anybody can commit 6 minutes a day.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So 6 minutes a day, spending it with your sketchbook and the relationship that you build with the 100-day consistency of those 6 minutes is what makes up for all these sketchbooks.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually, I finished a lot of sketchbooks during the 100 days of sketching, even though I did drawings outside of sketchbooks. Even though it was 6 minutes a day, and most days I did more than 6 minutes, obviously. That led to, I was kind of surprised. I finished a 120-page sketchbook, I think. I don't know, 120 pages or 100 pages at least. I think a 100-page sketchbook in less than like 24, 25 days. So I was like done with my first sketchbook within the first month of the challenge. And I was done with the second sketchbook during the second month of the challenge, which has never happened to me. I've never finished a 100-page sketchbook before. And I was doing drawings outside of it. It was like fascinating. Like doing just little things every single day could affect or make big changes in your thing. Man, that's like great learning right there, right? Like doing, people underestimate that. People underestimate the fact that little things, people know that little things makes a difference. But there's a difference between actually knowing something than being aware of something, right?
Yeah.
The 100 days of sketching challenge made me actually aware of the power of doing little things, and making big changes from that. So yeah, that's all I have.
We'll have to set up the Instagram. We'll set it up.
Yeah. Oh yes. We are going to set up 100 days of sketching. We're going to make this challenge a thing, a big thing. It's going to be every year during the month, which starts during the month of May. So May 1st, every year, we're going to do the 100 days of sketching challenge. This is like one of the best challenges I've come across, thankfully. I don't know, I have to thank my creative brain for inventing that. Again, a thought on creativity is like put a lot of stuff which I learned from habits and psychology and building those things and drawing, took them together And that's why this challenge works so well, right? And the amount of messages that I'm getting from people who have completed the challenge and that are absolutely blown away by the results of it is just so many. I think we should just put we can write a little mini book on the testimonials that we've got from people. This challenge is free. Do it. The information is out there. The website is 100daysofsketching.com, or we'll link the Instagram thing down below so that you can go check it out. So yeah, man, those are my thoughts on sketchbooks. Those are thoughts on 100 days. What do you have something? What do you have to say?
Nothing much.
Nothing much.
So I think to close off, we just have to think about our relationship with our sketchbooks. So 100 days of sketching is also about committing to a consistency committing to a consistent production or content creation in our sketchbooks.
Yes.
So
actually, it's more like committing to a consistent practice schedule than a production schedule.
Okay, yeah. So you don't have to create a finished
drawing every day.
Okay.
What matters is you stick with that 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's not finished. And what we talked about, all these three things, using it as a journal, using it as a playground, using it as a practice ground. Exactly. All these are also our attitudes towards that relationship with the sketchbook itself.
Yes.
And all of them, each different attitude is going to help a different aspect of our art being improved, right? So journaling aspect is how we look at our life as stories. All our memories are filled in as stories and pictures. So when you start the practice of journaling, that's when you actually document your entire life. Our memories are not dependable. So when you make a record of your life at that point in time in a journal, it becomes an indelible document on paper.
So on that, right? Something that I've started doing recently is I started maintaining something called a logbook.
Okay.
So a logbook is just where I make a list of what happened during a particular day. So I stole this idea from Austin Kleon.
Okay.
Again, he's kept a logbook for so many years, and I think most of the times we're not people who want to make changes in their lives and they're not able to do it. And I've been wanting to make a couple of changes and I've been sort of stuck doing the same thing, is because I don't think you have a record of what happened during the past.
Yeah.
And sort of having a logbook where I sort of wrote a list of things that happened, on a particular day. I'm writing stuff down like, okay, I went here, I did 1 hour of deep work today, I drew this drawing today, and I ate this today, and and I didn't. Okay, if I didn't do anything that particular day, I didn't do anything today and watched 5 episodes of Stranger Things.
Another important thing is to actually document the things we are grateful for. Tim Ferriss actually recommends a gratitude journal where you at least write down 2 things that you're grateful for that happened today. It could be even the sunset or the weather. You just have to just note it down.
I'm sort of experimenting with that too. Okay. A logbook is a different place where it's like just a record of my days and an objective, non-judgmental record of my days.
Okay.
I've ordered a journal which is coming in, so I'm sort of trying to get myself into bullet journaling again. The thing is, these things take discipline and practice, but if you do them, you're better off, I think. And so I think that a gratitude exercise really helped me in the past before, and writing a couple of things down. And I bought a habit journal actually. So I've ordered this thing called the Clear Habit Journal.
Okay.
So where you build, you focus on one habit at a time for 30 days or something like that. So I told you, right? So I'm gonna do a 30-day challenge where I'm focusing on one habit every single day, and I mean not every single day, every 30 days, and yeah. So journaling, sketching. The lines between my sketchbook and my journal is sort of getting blurred right now these days. Yeah. So I'm sort of need to remind myself that my sketchbook is a place where I practice my art, and then I have my journal, which is sort of like a playbook and a gratitude book, and my want to do book where I write down the things that I want to do. I don't know. There are multiple ways to use this system. You can have a different book for everything, or you can have just one book. You can have 2 books, 3 books. Yeah.
It depends on every single person.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, we sort of actually we need to do like a different episode on journaling.
Yeah, you have a journal where you most of the things are like writing and a little bit of tables and and a lot of sketches.
I have a personal journal right here, so I'm not gonna open this up. But so this personal journal, I just write down the stuff that I'm feeling, and it's like Dear Diary type deal. So yeah, and I sometimes just like brainstorming, and it's like a notebook. It's like, do you remember that us as kids in school, we have a notebook for every single subject.
And a rough book.
A rough book. A rough note is what I call it. Rough note, right?
Note, yeah.
Rough note is like rough note where everything crappy goes.
Yeah.
We all need to get back to that thing where we get a damn rough note.
Yeah.
That's like the conclusion of this episode. Everybody use your sketchbook like a rough note. If you're Indian, you know what a rough note means. I don't know if you are in other places. I don't know what you call it over there. So in India, rough note is like it's like
a back cover of your textbook where you like scribble stuff.
So we technically have like an entire notebook dedicated to that. So we write stuff down. Sometimes your teacher like, you don't write that in your science book, write that in your rough book. It's like, okay, miss. So rough book, a rough note is something that you can use. I think think that mentality of using a rough note is the way we should probably use a sketchbook. That's like a great conclusion, right?
Yeah, great.
I think we should use that in the video. Yeah, cool, man, cool. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to this pretty long podcast. We shall be back next time. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Arvind?
Nothing else. Bye.
Yeah, bye people. See you next time. Bye.